Now, here's what we're going to do at this point. There were many others who contested in these elections. In fact, 5 others. We're able to speak to one of them now. He is the flag bearer of the PPP, Dr. Papa Kwesi Indum. He joins us via Skype. Dr. Indum, good evening, and thank you very much for your time with us.
Good evening.
Now, I can imagine that you went into this race with a lot of anticipation. At what point did you make the decision to concede defeat?
Well, you know, we have people all over the country who were also keeping track of the results. And we saw a clear trend, what I keep calling a certain stiff wind of change that was just blowing across the country. Upper East, Upper West, where some of the areas where NPP had never won before, and indeed in some areas where we thought we had great opportunity. And you know, it was just to me, I just didn't understand what was happening, but it was clear that there was a sweep going on, and it was going in the favor of the NPP and Nana Akufo-Addo. And so when we saw that, when we did our own estimating as to what that would represent in terms of number of seats in Parliament and in terms of votes, it seemed quite clear to us that Nana Akufo-Addo was heading for victory in this election. We had hoped that a good bit of that wind of change will come our way, but we were campaigning for change, just as they were. And it appeared that people made a decision that they would pitch their tent with the NPP instead of us.
Now, it was very early in the game. It was sometime this morning, I believe, when you made that post on social media.
As a matter of fact, it was yesterday.
It was yesterday morning, pardon me, you're right about that. It was that early, you know, literally hours after the polls closed, yesterday morning. I mean, you must have had masses of data to have been that certain that it was going to go in the favor of the NPP and not the NDC. What was the source of this data?
Don't give me that much credit. And besides, it doesn't take a genius to know, understand, and accept what was happening. I mean, what was happening was clear. And I just don't understand why some other people are refusing to just recognize what we have here.
You mean the NDC?
Well, whether it's NDC or anybody else, my point is that I did not go into this election wishing Nana Akufo-Addo to win. I went into it to win myself. But when you are stared in the face with something that has been done and a decision made by the people, no matter what my own aspirations may have been, or my wishes may have been, or what I had hoped would happen, the reality is reality. And you must just accept it and then move on. And it is important that we all move on, close this chapter, and let's see what Nana Akufo-Addo and the NPP will be able to do for Ghana in the next 4 years. If they do good things, good. If they don't do so well, then we'll be on them to try and get them out of there in a hurry. So let's get on with our lives. There's more to Ghana. There's more to life than elections and politics and so on and so forth. The election is over. Let's move on and let's build this nation.
Now, the last time the NPP won an election, they invited you to join them in government. If such an invitation comes again this time, assuming the EC announces, as we have projected, that the NPP has won, if they invite you again to take a role in government, would you consider it?
My friend, I did not go into this election to become a part of an administration that was not led by me. I've been an assembly member, I've been an MP, a minister of state, and so on and so forth. And I did that because of a certain special invitation extended to me by former President John Ajikun Kufuor, and also based on the circumstances at the time. But that's not the point right now. What is not right now? The issue is let's get this election to be over. Okay, forget about who will become what in the next administration. We need to get this election over so we can move to the next steps. So for me, this question, it doesn't come in at all.
You've heard the reasons why the EC has as yet not announced the results. They've given several reasons for the delays. How do you assess those reasons? Do you understand why the EC has to take their time with this?
Well, let me know. I was going to say something else, but look, it would not be appropriate. But the EC has not shown itself to be an organization that has been seeking the truth in recent times. So I'm not buying anything from them. The fact of the matter is that they must not hold the nation to ransom. That organization, it is there to serve the people. It is not there to serve their own purpose or the purpose of certain other people. So let's be clear. An election was held on Wednesday. And here we are getting to Friday evening. And somebody is saying they must take their time and check what? Where we are aggrieved as contestants, we have a responsibility and a right to say something. But when we have all gone around and we have all had polling agents, they have tallied up the numbers tell a certain story. Then the one who is the custodian of all those pink sheets and all those documents is telling us that they must now do some checking and double checking. You know, we had suggested to them electronic voting. We had suggested all sorts of other things to them, but they didn't listen. They refused to listen, as a matter of fact. So let them not hold the nation to ransom. Let's get on with it. Let's get on with it.
Now, there are some who have actually commended Madam Charlotte Osei on her first election, suggesting that the actual voting went a lot smoother than they anticipated. Would you be one of those?
No, I would not be. Look, this election is not all about casting a vote on the day of election. This election has everything to do with all the things that led on to it, with a voters register that is still flawed, with not enforcing the political parties' laws that enables a sitting government to use and misuse our taxpayers' money for campaign purposes, and so on and so forth. Intimidation and harassment of candidates. One of my parliamentary candidates ended up in the hospital a couple of days before the election. There's so many other things. So please, let's not talk about free and fair and peaceful voting and smooth voting on election day. That is not how you judge things. That's why a mediocre government and a mediocre country judges things. We want to get things done right and do the right things. We did not do the right things. Many of us have all helped to ensure that the day of voting, there's not an issue. So let's not go there. I'm not about to commend anybody for anything this time. Let us make sure we learn from our mistakes and not leave things to chance that maybe something will go wrong and we'll have a huge problem in this country.
Well, you don't think much of what the EC has done so far. Are you going to have any faith in the results once they announce them?
Well, as I said, the results show a certain trend. If the results, what they announce don't go with that trend, then I will have something to say. If it goes with the trend, something that we have verified, then we are okay. But then there will need to be reforms that come after this election. A lot of reforms. And so but we need to get this thing over with. As I keep saying to you, let's get this election over. Let's get the results declared. Let's everybody accept the results and let's move on with our lives.
Now, let's talk about the PPP. And
yes, I'm sorry, can we wrap this up quickly, please?
Of course. Okay, so let's wrap up with this. It appeared as if this was the year that the PPP was finally going to break out and become that strong third force. It seemed from all indications that there were many who were ready to consider your party as worthy of their vote. Everywhere you went across the country, you were received so well. So how do you account for the fact that yet again the PPP has come an extremely distant third?
Well, I am not the one to account for the result. Indeed, the result this time was so much better than the results the last time. Okay, and this is our second election. But the results are so far below our expectation. But you see, I am satisfied. In my heart, I believe that we, the PPP, we have done and did all the things that we needed to do, whether it was with media, going out to the towns and villages, spending time with the people, spelling out our messages, our ideas, and not engaging in fighting or insulting. We did the right things. Those who did the wrong things, well, we see what has happened to them. But we did the right things, and we put in maximum effort. So I'm clear in my mind as to what we did. What Ghanaians chose to do, that is what Ghanaians chose to do. I can't go and harass anybody for choices that they made. I can't dispute the choices that they made. And indeed, also, it is their individual personal choice which they have a right to. So I accept that. All I can say is that we all live with the consequences of the choices that we make. That if you make good choices, that if it turns out the choice that they've made is a good choice, well, we will all enjoy it. If it turns out the choice that have been made is a bad choice, we will all suffer for it. I don't wish anything bad for Ghana or Ghanaians, but we live with the consequences of our decisions. But Ghanaians have made the decisions. We accept it. We'll take a look at the situation. We'll decide what to do differently so that we can get better results the next time. You go in an election, you go into a contest, and you know that you will win or you will lose. We lost this time, but we hope that the next time will be a better time for us.
So you're running again in 2020?
This is not about Papa Kwesi Nduom. It's about the Progressive People's Party. We will run again as a party.
Thank you so much for your time with us, Dr. Papa Kwesi Nduom. We wish you all the very best, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
So that was the flag bearer of the PPP, poised to be the third force in this election, but for some reason, yet again, the anticipated figures didn't gel for them. But they have done a lot better this year than they did last year, and they've certainly done better than any of the remaining parties in this race, apart from the two biggest ones. Now, speaking of the two biggest ones, the results continue to come through, and we will continue to bring you updates of the constituencies that are yet to be declared by the EC and yet to be collated by us here at your election headquarters. Of course, election results on your election headquarters are brought to you by the kindness of Magdan Shipping Company, your total logistics partner, as well as NIIT, Enroll for Quality Computer Education in Ghana. Now, the official insurance partners for the 2016 election headquarters are Phoenix Insurance and Phoenix Life Assurance. Let's also say thank you to Papa's Pizza, taste it, love it, and Cowbell Coffee, smile and have a sunshine day. Let's thank them for refreshing your election headquarters several times over as we've continued to bring you an unrivaled and uninterrupted coverage of the 2016 national elections right here in Ghana. Let's not forget, we at 2:02 a.m. this morning, we projected that the winner of this election will be the NPP's Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. We wait patiently as the facts to continue to bear out our projection, and we'll continue to bring you the details as we update our board with all of the information as it comes through. Your election headquarters will not end until we have the official results from the Electoral Commission. For now, we're going to take some all-important messages. When we come back, even more on your election headquarters. And I believe Evans Mensah will be taking over with more coverage, more analysis, more calculations and permutations to figure out whether what we have left is enough to make any change to the results as we know them. Stay with us for that and more.